Many people ask me, do I ever comb my hair? The answer is, well, yes, but it's not a priority, particularly on a trip like this. So what I do is I get up and the light is beautiful and I'm chasing the sun. Well, the sun is chasing me in this case, because the sun is coming up and the light is beautiful, and then it will soon be ordinary. So I'll immediately grab my camera, run around, get some shots, do a couple of establishing shots about where we are, while wanting coffee, while wanting to comb my hair and wanting a pee. But that's not what happens on a typical morning. I will comb my hair and have a pee, but not necessarily in that order. Established in 1996, 4X Overland is the world's first global overland expedition channel. Join us as we explore the world by four-wheel drive. So some of you might be thinking, well, Andrew, why didn't you get a coil spring conversion for your troop carrier? I'd love to. Guys, you guys doing coil spring conversions? Would you like to sponsor me one? I say that because it's a lot of money. And I am very interested in actually seeing how much better it would be. But to throw that kind of money, I'd rather spend it on something else. I'd rather spend it on travel or something like that. But I really would like to try it. Another actually really exhausting day. Driving through this heavy brush is exhausting. It means concentrating completely on where the wheels are, where the logs are, trying to avoid the worst of the logs. And then of course the noise of there was a moment today where the bushes actually closed above the car. It was a tunnel. It's amazing how the land has recovered, how nature abhors a vacuum. There's a space to grow, and nature will grow something in it.
Action.
So yesterday we tried to fix the suspension, as you would have seen. We did actually work until it was dark, and we adjusted the upper control arms left and right. Didn't make a difference at all. So we adjusted them back to where they were before, and then we thought through it again, and we had a look at the lower control arms, because I've installed adjustable lower control arms as well. And what happened yesterday was that I hit a bump about this high, and the whole wheel got a really big knock back. So we found out that the lower control arm itself had moved in the front out and in the back in, which then pulled the steering slightly to the right hand side. So I always had to steer to the left hand side, and I could just feel the wheels grinding while driving along. So we had a look at the marks, and we saw that the lower control arms had actually shifted a bit. We loosened them, adjusted them again. It's not perfect, but instead of driving like that, I can drive like that again. The whole repair would have been a whole lot easier with YouTube or Google available, but since we're in the middle of nowhere, we just had to figure it out. But we did.
Yeah.
Robbie, how's the tire deflation going for you today?
Fuck off.
see how, oh yeah, a lot of grass there. Now, I have a 100-litre water tank which has proven to be really adequate. I haven't been wasting water by any means, but I also haven't been, you know, going to great strides to save water either. And at the moment we're sitting at about 1/3 of the tank, which is perfect.
See what happens.
Okay.
It's not a lot of pressure in there. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, and we still need to put the valve cap on. Good that you're filming me, Andrew, so I can find out what I've done wrong. We did hook up our water system. So what we're doing is we use the sea flow pump kit to suck water out of the tank, pump it through the filter, out, and we get filtered water. Do you want to check out if it's cold, Andrew?
No, I'm holding a camera.
What if I hit you and we get John! Just turn around.
Oh,
Oh,
careful.
sorry, Andrew.
One of the weaknesses, this has been reinforced, but the base we did not reinforce. It was too difficult without having to rebuild the entire thing. So I'll just keep an eye out. But that's fine. There's nothing doing in there. So those corrugations that we met on the way here, the last 30 or so kilometers. My worry has always been that is going to damage an old vehicle because they are brutal. So we're going to keep a close lookout on those bits because there's a lots more to come. If I think about how much better this vehicle is than my green Troopy, I mean, water alone, it was just under half full. That's 9 days camping, and you know, everybody but I think everybody but Heino's using mine. My shower. Getting close to the top, this morning we had a waffle maker running, and we had the coffee, the milk frother and the coffee machine running all simultaneously without even thinking about it. It just, you know, the large inverter actually, I think about it, and the fact that we can actually weld if we had to using this system. I don't think it is overkill after all, because at the end of the day what I've got is a vehicle that is still lighter than my previous one, but performs better. The landscape, as compared to my 2017 trip, is changed utterly actually, because there has been so much rain. Everything is lush, the grass is higher, and there are a lot more birds. These flocks is actually the wrong word, these budgies. The word begins with M, it escapes me right now. I only saw them on the last couple of days, the furthest southern tip of the route then, and there they are. They're here. They were all over Route 33, well 33. They were all over the place, and we're seeing, as we drive, we're seeing them. They're very active in the morning, and then they tend to stop. From what I have seen, morning time is as if they just fly around for no apparent reason. Just loving life, I guess, and the way the light bounces off the green is magical. The Range Rover suffered a total failure of its lights. None of them work. Brake lights work, I'll give you that. The big floodlights on the Hilux then served to light the path, and we drove for about an hour and a half in total darkness with Rob driving the Range Rover using the backlights of the Hilux to find his way. Pretty impressive feat, considering I was driving this with perfectly good lights and it was a difficult drive to see the terrain. One couldn't use headlamps because it just hit the grass and would bounce back into your face. So any spotlights or very bright lights wouldn't work. A bar up high level would have been very useful. I wonder if my tyres are feeling like the bottom of my legs are now. Spinifex has this stings, and it's so pointy, and walking in and around it, you know, to pull branches out and stuff like that. I should actually be wearing long trousers because both my legs are stinging like crazy.
Wow, I love the change of scenery.
And I imagine myself driving a vehicle with this kind of ride, with some modern conveniences like steering that is powered and a little bit more directional than this, air conditioning. Part of me says, well, if you want something like that, you have to get a what? I want solid axles. Ineos Grenadier. I bet you the Ineos Grenadier is the closest thing available today to this. This place conjures the question, when a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound if there is nobody there to hear it? And it makes me think of those places in the world that I visited, that I cherish. They're there now. Most of them exactly as I remember them, with the sounds, the smells, the feeling still there. Nothing's changed about them. Even though I'm here, they're still there. Or are they? I have to assume they are. This has been like this every single morning for at least 5 years when I was last here. This kind of travel not only is a break state from one's normal existence, this kind of travel where you are completely alone and you are in bed with the natural world, it is unlike any other travel that I believe anybody can do. In fact, I think we should modify the common saying that's, does a bear in the woods, or is the Pope gun shy, or is the Pope, does the Pope live in the Vatican? I think we should use a new one called, does the Currawong sing at Durbar Springs in the morning? It's a bit long-winded, but you get my meaning. In fact, we could come up with some opposites, like, I know, do elephants eat buffalo? Or do giraffes have difficulty? No, they have difficulty doing most things. Is the kangaroo smart? is a better one. Does Toyota make a good handbrake?
Sometimes I play it safe, and you can see it. It's easy for me to show. But sometimes I'm really brave, and that just means that I'll try again tomorrow. It's my dark created mountains where the valleys used to be.
All right, I'm happy.
Better.
We just listen for that sound again.
Oh,
That's all you can do, eh? No, I'm saying when you're
as I'm
driving,
driving,
when you're
yeah.
driving,
Yeah.
and then we'll have a tool ready to try and establish its location.
Yeah.
Or we'll have something that's easy to hand, I
Yeah.
think. And then I think it's an alternator.
Which matches with that squeak.
I definitely think it's from the drive belt because that's the frequency of the zip, 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 zip,
Yeah.
zip.
Yeah.
And that very high pitched whistle is typical of the engine, that's nothing. It's the click, 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 click that we heard.
Yeah.
I think it's a bearing that's a bit dodgy. But I am carrying a spare alternator and a spare water pump in the spare
So
kit.
we're good to go.
I'm not worried.
Well, no, you don't.
I don't think we will.
No.
I don't think we
I'm going to want some of these while we're there.
will. Yeah. Oh, you want to adjust those?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. This is the first engine work we've actually done on the engine. Should we tell Heiner? Should we
No,
just
that's
shut
what I
up
was just about to say. We really need to get this done
before they come?
because Heiner will catch us up shortly. We do not need him coming.
No, we must, yeah. During the entire trip, Heiner and John generally like to drive faster than myself and Rob. I am driving at this speed because we are nursing the Range Rover. Crossing the finishing line is far more important than doing it quickly. And so they will tend to drop back and have more brakes than we do, and then catch up, and they catch up with us reasonably quickly. So if we stop, they will normally reach us within 15 or 20 minutes. That break with the repair of the Range Rover was a little longer than normal, which of course suited us perfectly. And no further mention will be made on that part of the work needed on the Range Rover. So when they see the film, well, we'll see what happens. When the truth is finally revealed that we did more work on the Range Rover than we claimed to have done. Now for an argument. What is the best vehicle?
Range Rover.
Oh, Hilux.
Come on, FJ.
You said it.
Cloud.
You said it was a cloud,
I did everything I wanted it to do. I could work on it. I could drive with it.
You could work on it. You
Camp
did
with
work
it.
on
I
it.
did everything.
You've done a full mechanical
And you
course.
didn't ask which one is the best car. You think, what do you think is the best car? I think my car's the best car. But I've got a lot of respect for you that you drove that thing through the bush for such a long time. I'm surprised you're still alive.
That takes a lot of effort.
Nobody talks about the hero because the Troopy being the hero, it's kind of we know it's good. Right.
But it had its issues.
Oh, it had its issues. Oh, yes, it did. But it's one of those things that everybody knows, it's good. And it shines in a few ways, and it's, you know what I mean? It's old hat is what I'm saying. It's just plain good. Although mine looks better than anybody else's, it's still the old hat. So, the fuel consumption figures roughly are. Now this is, to me, this is a bit of an eye-opener. The best car consumption, let's go start with the worst. Let's start with the worst consumption.
Very worst fuel consumption so far for the trip.
Was Sean's FJ?
Yeah, I think it was the FJ.
How many litres per 100 kilometres?
Well, in some terrain, I was doing
Overall?
overall.
Yeah.
I will say
27. It's
27.
27 litres per 100 kilometres.
Yeah.
Next on the fuel consumption was pretty close. It was between.
Next one. Because
Next.
we're going to drop a bombshell. The
Yeah,
next
true.
one
That's very, very true. Was around 16, 17 litres per 100.
was the Range Rover,
Yes.
and only slightly less. Maybe 1 litre per 100 kilometres. Maybe. Troop carrier. Troop carrier was heavy. Very heavy on the open road. In fact, the same fuel consumption on the open road as the Range Rover.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
Yeah.
But better in the rough.
Yeah, yours increased quite a lot through the sand on the
Through the
Range
sand.
Rover.
Yeah, through the really soft sand.
The Hilux though, what was your consumption in the Hilux?
I'm not sure overall. Through the last
Give a
section here
guess.
it was
Guess your
16.
overall.
Before that
16?
it was 12 and a half.
So between 12.5 and 16.
So about 14.
That's not bad.
Right, now, the drum roll. The most economical car, or is it? What was your, John, your Mitsubishi?
It was around the 14 and a half mark. Overall for the whole canning.
14 and a
top to
half
bottom.
at least, kind of case.
Fully loaded.
It's
Yeah.
probably mine as well. But mine did weigh a bit over 3 tons.
So with honesty, let's try that. The FJ had no problems, but you only did the last 1/3 of the trip.
Exactly. Just from Cotton Creek.
And didn't really do the really tough parts. But a few tough bits today, but
Yeah, a few days. Yeah.
the work needed on the Hilux included, what was the major work needed on the Hilux?
The non-factory brakes in the back were just absolutely terrible. There should not be in any Hilux. That was a major hiccup. And the adjustable part of the front suspension that wasn't marked, that got out of alignment, and then we just
Got out of alignment because you hit something big.
Yeah, I would say it's not even the car's fault. I would actually put that to operator error.
Nobody's
I'm afraid I'm afraid you have to take that one, yes. Yes.
And I did it twice actually.
But it
And
is
when
a-
I did it the second time, the steering went almost straight again.
Okay. That is a factor of independent front suspension.
Yeah.
I hit something today, which yesterday actually, and I thought that is axle braking stuff, and my wheel, no alignment issues at all. To me, that's the difference between solid and independent. You have the strength. The Range Rover
None.
didn't do any work at all.
Nothing at all.
The door catch was a problem.
Which one? The driver?
Driver
or the,
door catch
or the
was a
rear
problem.
door?
The rear tailgate,
Yeah, it
not
was
a problem. If you in the right hands.
They're anti-theft devices.
They're very good anti-theft
Yes.
devices.
As long as you got 2 banging Englishmen in the morning, it's not a problem.
That was a little annoying, yeah.
What else did we do on the Range Rover that was potentially serious? We had the shock
Lights.
absorber failure up front, which was just a... I blame myself because I didn't check it, and there was an idiot who fitted it.
But that was marginal. I mean, that was...
Yeah,
It was
just one washer. So
it was one washer, and it was
Yeah.
the first bit of corrugations, and I think
Yeah.
we did about 6 Ks in the corrugations, and it showed up, and we fixed it. What else?
lights. That's it.
Yes, the
Oh
lights,
yeah, we
the
fixed a bit of
headlamps.
the electrics. Yeah.
The switch on the Range Rover switch collapsed, the light switch, which we jury-rigged and got that working. What else?
You guys did some service work with the air
We
filters,
did
but
maintenance.
all
We
of
did,
that
some,
was
we did a little bit of
maintenance.
maintenance work and
Yeah.
found a few minor things which we sorted while we were doing that, but they were just not even really worth mentioning.
Nothing big.
And drum roll, Mitsubishi. You lost a tail light out of the tray, which is not a Mitsubishi product.
Yes, that's a
Operator error.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's just rattled out. But it is actually in my car. I took it off because I didn't want it to rattle out and I lose it.
But you didn't do any other work.
No, nothing.
So, and we've all agreed on this.
Even I did before.
No,
but,
seriously, we've come to an unanimous decision that if you want to do the canning stock route, the best car to do it in is a 2013 badly maintained Mitsubishi Navara. I'm sorry. It's a Nissan Triton.
Last Hino wasn't a repair,
is.
it was an upgrade.
It was the best car here. The Triton was the best car here.
Yep.
It was.
Has something to do with the driver.
Rubbish. It was the best car.
Did you have somebody
I'm
else?
pretty sure if I
Yeah,
would have driven it,
had
I
a
would have
stick
still
going.
broken it.
Despite
Oh, yeah.
John, it actually, who would have thought that?
I think nobody,
No.
none of us did.
Nobody.
Not at all.
But I think that a congratulations needs to go to Rob, because I drove the Range Rover 12 feet. By comparison to the distance that Rob drove it. And my hat off to you that you endured that for 1,800 kilometers off road.
You
With
deteriorated a bit
window
over time.
I've
he's
aged
still
a few
alive.
years, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was, best
And-
drive ever.
And the drive up here as well.
Plus the drive up to the top, 4 days before we got on the track.
It's almost.
I mean, the evenings when
17
you
days
came
on track.
out of that car, sometimes covered in sticks and flowers and insects and dust and
Red dust, yeah.
Sunburn and scratches.
Off road, it walked it. It was just an
Oh.
absolute breeze.
Yeah.
Today it got a bit squirrely around some of the tracks, and it just was like a yawn. It was so boring.
He stopped on the one point. Oh, this will be good. We'll get it. I'll just get the Range Rover. And I went, yeah. Walked past the car. Well, that was boring. Sorry.
Oh, anyway. That's the end of the series. If you want more, then send money.
yeah. Give us a lot of money and we do this all the time.
And another old car.
Yeah.
Didn't
Or
even have to
dune
weld
buggy.
it together.
I'll do it in dune buggy.
Yeah. I still reckon Robin Reliant.
Reliant Robin. Next time, Reliant Robin, Canning Stock Route. Backwards, in reverse all the way.
You'd have to do it backwards. I think.
You'd roll it otherwise.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Spend most of the time on its roof.
Thank you so much for watching. These videos are made possible by contributions from Patreons. Join our Patreon family now.